Welcome sa live action at manga comparison ng Alice in Borderland Season 2 Episode 6, kung saan dadaanan natin kung sino nga ba talaga ang King of Diamonds at kung paano siya natalo ni Chishiya. Matapos ang umatikabong simping at tayatayaan with the Queen of Spades, nagkaroon ng bebe time si Arisu at Usagi after nilang mapunta sa ruins ng Seven of Spades game. Naligo sila sa isang hot spring na nabuo matapos ng pagsabog sa lugar at syempre, pag naliligo, nakahubad.
Kambastos!
Dito ay nakakita si Usagi ng elepante, hindi yung kay Arisu, legit na mga elepante. Hindi pala legit, mga elepanteng CGI. Tapos, naghalikan sila. Kasi, ano nga ba gagawin ng isang babae at lalaking sabay maligo na nakahubad sa gitna ng kawalan sa harap ng mga elepante? Well, this is actually canon sa manga, pati yung mga elepante. Pero this happened lamang after ng King of Clubs game kung saan nag-decide si Arisu to step down and stop playing games sa Borderlands, with Usagi staying by his side kasi ito na yung MU stage nilang dalawa. Here, they spent a short time para lumugar sa tahimik, trying to live a fun and normal life sa Borderlands. This is the actual part kung saan Usagi and Arisu form a deep connection. And technically, naging mag-live-in sila kasi, do you know, na sa manga, nagkaroon sila ng bed scene. This is manga exclusive, so hanggang kiss lang tayo sa live action. Saj. After that scene, nakita natin si Quina visiting her mom's hospital na wala sa manga. Habang si Anne naman in the middle ng pagdodora niya ay nagkaroon ng flashback sa dating buhay niya after seeing a dead deer. Remembering that time when she was investigating a dead child's body. Just in case baka nakalimutan nyo ng Anne is a forensic scientist. This flashback was not in the manga, so it's very interesting to see a part ng past life ni Anne. Pero itong dead deer scene was actually canon just to replace Anne with Mahiru. To be honest, they captured perfectly how beautiful this scene is in the manga, reflecting about how beautiful life is in its final moments. At dito na nga, we finally came to the King of Diamonds game. Before facing the King of Diamonds, Chishiya cleared first yung Jack of Diamonds sa manga, which is a game of mahjong. Ordinary mahjong game lang to kung saan kailangan nilang magpautakan to beat the Jack of Diamonds. Ang condition, kung sino ang mag-top 1 sa score will be the winner, and the rest, a game over. Chishiya overkilled the Jack of Diamonds with his risky plays sa game na to, saying na masyado itong weak at walang thrill kalaro dahil sobrang play safe. Siya lamang ang nag-iisang survivor after clearing this game na siyang naging warm-up niya na rin in preparation para sa King of Diamonds. The King of Diamonds game was portrayed sa live action as how it was in the manga. Legit, they nailed yung rules, yung mga characters, and even the setting, which is yung courtroom. Since this is the hardest game of intellect, yung mga players na nag-participate dito ay yung mga big brains lang ng Borderland. They only recruited players na may intellectual credentials to fight with them para talunin ang King of Diamonds, na technically the smartest guy sa Borderlands. They might look like disposable side characters, pero alam nyo ba na they are the best match for this game? This guy is a security analyst. This old man is a mathematician. And this lady naman is a loan shark. You get the idea, they are all good in numbers. They even questioned Chishiya pa nga if karapat dapat ba siyang maglaro with them, and my boy just low-key flex na he just cleared the Jack of Diamonds lang naman, and so they let him join them. Kung alam lang nila na si Chishiya ang bubuhat sa game na to. Other than the math involved sa game, it was more of Chishiya hot-seating Kuzuryu kung ano ang nagtulak sa kanya para maging King of Diamonds and why he infiltrated the beach. The game was actually called Beauty Contest sa manga, in reference to the Keynesian Beauty Contest, isang sikat na experiment in behavioral economics, which is actually a real thing sa history natin if you Google it. Pero sa live action, they called the game Balance Scale. To give you an idea para di ka na mag-Google, Keynesian Beauty Contest was a survey during the 19th century kung saan people voted sa newspaper kung sino ang number 1 hottest girl in the area. Kung sino ang mag-number 1 rank na girl gets awarded with a prize. Para siyang FHM pero tabloid. Si paring Keynes naman na isang 20th century economist na kinumpare tong survey na to with equity investments. Na nagsasabing you need to make your decisions daw on not what you personally think is the best, pero dapat on what the majority or the market thinks is the best. O diba? Pati ikaw may natutunang bago. Nakakataba talaga ng utak tong King of Diamonds game. Pero hindi lang sa patalinuhan talaga umikot tong game na to, kasi Chishiya already hinted before the game started na ang kailangan nilang basahin sa game na to ay hindi mentality o utak but yung rationality o pag-iisip ng kalaban nila. Yung development ng game went as it is in the live action. Unti-unting napupuno yung scales sa ibabaw nila ng asido for every losing point kada round. And since isa tong game para sa matataba ang utak, madaming intelligent theories and concepts ang inexplain sa manga like the Nash equilibrium and bounded rationality, emphasizing na this is a game to read how the rest of the participants think. Wala to sa live action so plus 100 IQ sa manga. Chishiya already predicted na the old man is done for kasi nasobrahan siya sa taba ng utak and by the book masyado maglaro, na he can't understand how other players think. As they approach going to a stalemate, Chishiya tipped the scale and did a Chad move to throw off everyone just like sa live action. To break the equilibrium, one must self-sacrifice. This is where Chishiya realized na nga na Kuzuryu is actually measuring the value of life in this game, to decide and determine who is worth sacrificing for para makomplete tong game na to. Yung old man and this guy din yung naging first blood after losing 10 points. Props sa live action, they brutally showed how death by acid looks like, as expected of Japan and their expertise sa gore movie effects. And same sa live action, Chishiya also used yung mala Sherlock Holmes deduction skill niya para ma-narrow down yung list of choices ni Ate Lone Shark Girl para mahulaan na 62 ang pipiliin niya. Dapat 69 na lang para nice. And so, after ng short tag team nila ni Chishiya, alas, the time came para umexit na si Ate Girl. While Kuzuryu's backstory is shown sa live action, sa manga, he was depicted more as a righteous attorney who firmly believed na all men are equal. Past tense yung believed kasi that changed after niyang makita with his own two eyes na the world is unfair. On how the strong, yung mayayaman, exploits the weak, yung mahihirap, to gain advantage sa society. We had a quick view sa live action on one of the case kung saan Kuzuryu was working on his past life. Pero sa manga, we had the full backstory on this. So ganito yon. Yung client niya dito ay CEO ng isang company na nakaharap sa mga complaints from indigenous people na na-hospitalized dahil sa company nila. These people, the poor to be exact, ay gustong ilaban ang karapatan nila and take this by legal action. Pero by underhanded tactics, yung company president pulled the strings para palabasin na naaksidente yung mga complainants at attorney nila at hindi na kayang ilaban pa yung kaso sa korte. This was made possible gamit ang kanyang impluensya sa politika na kanyang inaabuso para ma-exploit ang sistema at kontrolin ang mahihina. This is by far the most fur thing I've seen sa story na to. #relatable Pilipinas. After that, nagpatuloy pang ma-expose si Kuzuryu sa mga elite na to habang nasa abroad siya, showing him how these people are ruling the world with money, na as long as you have it, justice will always be by your side. For real, this game went in so deep to highlight how dirty our society is. Kuzuryu had enough of this so nag-decide siyang bumalik na lang sa Japan, confused and morally exhausted. And dito na nga siya na-transport sa Borderlands. Chishiya then finally understood the King of Diamonds, na he can't decide anymore kung ano ba talaga ang halaga ng buhay. Kaya naman pinapaubayan niya na lang ito sa Borderland games as a system to decide who lives and who dies. Chishiya laughed at him on how immature he is daw, na it's fine to have your own basis on choosing which life matters, kasi everyone naman does that. Masyado siyang kinain ng feelings niya playing God to find the answer and do the judgment himself. In the process of searching kung ano yung equality, ironically, he ended up trying to assign who is inferior and who is superior. It was shown sa manga na after meeting Mad Hatter, Kuzuryu was intrigued by the idea of his perfect utopia sa beach, kaya naman he decided to disguise himself and join them, in hopes na makita yung mga kasagutang hinahanap niya. Mira found it interesting then kaya she decided to tag along, and that's how they became executives sa beach. Dito we got to see some scenes where Kuzuryu spent his time working with Mad Hatter to build the beach and was able to see his ideals. The King of Diamonds also participated as a dealer sa Four of Clubs game, which is yung Runaway. He volunteered and risked his life to be the injured guy sa game na to, in which the goal is Kung sino man ang manatili para samahan siya until the end will be saved and complete the game. As this is a club's game, a game of cooperation. Kuzuryu wanted to see with his own eyes if a selfless person like that daw exist nga ba talaga. Sa live action, if you remember, meron ding injured guy na iniwan nila sa bus which Arisu chose to save. That guy, well, is just an extra. Sa manga, Arisu and Usagi never played this game kasi it was played by side characters. Dito na-meet ni Kuzuryu ang isang girl who chose to stay by his side, making her the only survivor sa game na to. She was once saved daw kasi by an old lady when she ran from home. And from then on, she promised to live her life to do good to others and pass this baton of kindness. Faith in humanity restored. Kuzuryu also had a flashback on his time sa beach where he confronted Momoka kung saan he saw her ideals in life after deciding na maging sacrifice as the witch na pinakita rin sa live action. And from all these encounters, Kuzuryu finally realized and remember kung ano nga ba talaga originally ang kanyang ideal sa buhay. With Chishiya leaving the decision sa mga kamay ni Kuzuryu if he lives or dies sa game, Kuzuryu decided na he rather die than to live, giving up on his ideals. And on the final moments of the game, Kuzuryu was finally able to decide how to live his life. Now, Chishiya's backstory as a doctor was live action original because sa manga, Chishiya is still a medical student. Here it was shown na na-expose din siya sa maduming politika ng ospital and got a taste of how ugly the world is like Kuzuryu had. The reason why Chishiya really wanted to play with Kuzuryu sa manga ay dahil he finds him interesting kasi he's the exact opposite niya. Now on how Kuzuryu is so interested in life that he went all the troubles sa Borderland to find the meaning of it, Chishiya on the other end never really had an interest in life. We'll cover this further sa next episode to understand how Chishiya's character came to be on his confrontation scene with Niragi. At the end of the game, pinakita si Kuzuryu and Mira after the downfall of the beach. Kuzuryu mentioned na he wants to have his game to be fair sa live action, but in the manga, inexplain niya na he decided to be part ng face card games kasi rather than have someone who enjoys murder to create senseless murder games, he'll rather take the role himself na lang to ensure and make it an impartial game. Truly a man of justice. You drop this, king. This is also the part where the Joker was first mentioned sa manga, with Kuzuryu saying na he is hoping someone could take that role para i-overthrow yung Borderlands and take over and change these absurd games. Mira discredited that as an illusion kasi ideals lang siya na never magkakatotoo, but Kuzuryu disagrees after seeing how ideals came true sa mga taong na-meet niya sa Borderlands. And with that, the episode ended sa isang mala Avengers Assemble scene kung saan each player was shown getting ready for the King of Spades game. Trivia, alam nyo ba na sa part na to, it was shown na Mahiro cleared the Queen of Spades and Quina the Jack of Spades, like sa live action. Though, it was not really shown what kind of games they played. And so next episode, we will finally go to the climax ng King of Spades game. Abangan at tadaanan natin dito how the fight actually went sa manga, kung sino nga ba talaga ang King of Spades, at kung paano nila ito natalo. Stay tuned and abangan sa next episode. Arigatou gozaimasu. Ciao!